Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the Diablo 3 Witch Doctor playthrough. With me, your host, as always, KageKaze. So, I want to, in general, apologize for the slowdown that has occurred this week. Well, this has occurred in general. I don't normally go into it because it's not what you're here for. You're here for the commentary on the games, but I kind of wanted to at least give a little bit of explanation of what's been going on, especially since some more slowdown may be in the future. First and foremost, of course, some people may already know about this. I do have new employment, which is taking a bit more time. It takes a bit more time during my week. Like when I work, I can't actively work on videos usually, as I now work 12-hour shifts, which require me to usually go to bed when I get home, and there you go. Not only that, but this week especially has been fairly bad, as I've been dealing with a nasty bout of extreme nausea. I don't know, some of you may know about this. I had an issue with sickness a while back, and I had talked about it just a tiny bit. It's been a reoccurring condition, and the only reason I mention it now is because I have no idea how bad it's going to continue to get, or if things will continue to slow down because of it. It's something I've been working on to try and resolve, but haven't had much success. Nothing, well, so far, nothing life-threatening, so I mean, that's nothing to worry about, but it is something that, like, for example, over the last couple nights, I've pretty much been laid out and wasn't even able to go to work due to it. So yeah, there is that. It is not pleasant, and again, I kind of don't normally like to talk about these things, because, you know, for one, I don't want anybody to have to worry about it, but since there is a cause for uncertainty in the future, I just wanted to at least put that out there. Hey, this could happen. So yeah, we'll continue to go forward. Hopefully, won't be anything too bad. Hopefully you've all been enjoying the playthrough series, and again, I know it's been taking far too long to get anywhere that I've wanted to go, especially since I reset everything with Reaper of Souls coming out. But I'm kind of pressing to move things quickly here. As you can kind of see, I'm skipping some side areas as well, especially since my level's around 57, and I'm getting close to 60. I want to try and get into Act 5 with around that level 60 to 70 range. Probably won't happen, but because there's plenty of ground to cover in this act still. Oh dear. But I want to thank everyone that's come by, that's been watching the content. In general, it's been really great. It has been. There's been some really good responses to some of the stuff I put out. Like, for example, I really enjoyed the responses to the Heroes of the Storm Stim Pack video I put out. It was nice to see some other people's content, or some other people's ideas about the free-to-play models and how the generation is. It seems there's a general consensus. A lot of people do agree that it's a little bit too slow. I'm still of the mind that the stim packs feel good, but again, maybe a bit too good. And I'm hoping Blizzard will take some of that feedback to heart. I did try and leave it up onto them for a bit, but their forums move pretty quickly. Whether they see it or not, I really can't tell. It's quite unfortunate. I do try, whenever I do important pieces of feedback, I do try and reference to their Twitter accounts and things like that. Perhaps I should use the use Reddit a bit more, but since I don't post a lot on Reddit, pretty much all I would ever be doing would be spamming. Well, I wouldn't say spamming because I don't do it a lot, but it would just, every time I post would be just an advertisement, and that's just, as far as I know, that's not good Reddit. Reddit, yes, that's a word. So I tend to avoid doing that. I guess I figure if anyone else wants to post it on my behalf, I guess, you know, some people have done that in the past. That's great, but I just don't want to, since I just don't comment enough, I just don't think it's, that it would be proper for me to do so. Yeah, here we go, level 58. So we are getting a Hex Rune for Unstable Form. And we are getting Big Bad Voodoo with a Boogeyman.
Can't say I ever thought that I would be leading the charge against the Lord of Sin.
Alright, so let's take a look here. Well, should we get rid of the Gargantuan? I am still using my ring? I just haven't found anything better yet, and I kind of hate to get rid of the dogs, because they're quite powerful with that ring. So I guess what we'll do is we'll get the big bad Voodoo over the Gargantuan. We'll do Boogeyman. So enemies who die in the ritual area have a 50% chance to resurrect as a zombie dog. Okay. So, that actually means I probably should get rid of the dog. You know, I wonder how that would synergize with the ring. Instead summons a single Gargantuan dog, combined damage of all other dogs. But if I don't have dogs... You know, this is going to be something that's very difficult to quantify, really. But let's try it. Let's put the dogs onto Hex. For unstable form, Hex enemies explode when killed, dealing 135% weapon damage is fired to all enemies within 8 yards, so that's cool. I think what I'll do is I'll replace my Grasp of the Dead with that one, so that'll work. That way I keep my Gargantuan, and then the other one was Big Bad Voodoo, so we'll go ahead and grab that. Boogeyman, chance to get a dog. Now, you get in, I believe you give a maximum of 3 dogs under standard circumstances. What this means with this ring, I have no clue. We're gonna find out together. Oh, I still have to destroy a Ballistae. Oh. Alright, well, let's try this. I'm gonna put down the Boogeyman. Probably a bad time for it because nothing here is dying quick enough to give me a dog. Yeah, that was a bad time for it. Putting out the Hex. There he is, he's running around. There's the chicken! There's the chicken that looks like he's ready to explode. Alright, next time I'll have to wait until they're a bit lower on health. And then put that down. That would be much better. Although it kind of seems to defeat the purpose of trying to get your damage up with Big Bad Voodoo. I mean, I guess it is just a bonus perk, right? I'm still running with, oh, I can't bring up the skill screen right now, but I am still running with some cooldown reduction, which means it's not a big deal to pop it down early. It's a pretty substantial chance, though, 50% chance to get a dog. Which makes me wonder if, like, if it procs once, does it give me a dog worth the strength of 1, and then if it continues to proc, will the dog just increase in strength? Will the legendary item not matter in that case? I mean, there's a lot of unknown questions here. Alright, let's see. He's getting pretty close to dying. Oh, he's got extra health. I can't wait till the patch, honestly, so extra health goes away. Oh, speaking of the patch, yes, that was something I wanted to mention earlier. 212, oh no, he's getting out of the field. You son of a... Oh, bastard! He did that on purpose, didn't he? 212 will be coming out on Tuesday. So, as of right now, it is the 10th of January. On a Saturday. And so it will be coming out Tuesday, which is great. Season 2 will not be coming up that soon. Apparently there are some complications with the patch and the rollover for the Season 2. So what they decided to do, and I think this is probably the best that they could have done, was instead of release the next season and not have the new legendaries in play, which would have been a terrible idea, they are going to release the patch early, during Season 1, and they're not going to close off Season 1 with the current patch. Now, they understand that this kind of screws up the leaderboards. But I think a lot of people, there's probably a handful of people out there that, you know, really do care about the leaderboards and don't want their progress to be screwed up because of all these changes that they're going to be adding, mostly to item sets. I know this has kind of been one of the patches I've probably covered the least in my tenure of covering Diablo patches, but a lot of it's been, I mean, not a lot has changed since the initial reports. I mean, a lot of it's just been a few minor tweaks to the item sets in general. Come on, give me a dog somewhere. There's a dog. Just trying to see if more dogs will pop. Where's my dog? I want to see if it's a gargantuan dog. Yeah, it does look pretty large. So I've got my Gargantuan dog without having zombie dogs on my bar. This is one of the things I love about Witch Doctors, is being you have so many ways around needing certain skills with passives, like Circle of Life giving you dogs. I mean, I don't need zombie dogs on my bars, I can just passively have it. And in this case, I've got the Big Bad Voodoo, which gives me the dog. So I don't need the dog on my bar, and I can have an extra cooldown spell. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Granted, the dog has no runes, but that's, you know, that's fine. That's pretty cool. Yeah, lots of enemies here. But yeah, the 2-1-2 will come out first, and then what they'll do is, I believe they said they were going to wait about a month.
I am hurt. I must wait longer.
Possibly going to die here. And then after that, they will release the next season, which I think is the best way to do it, because that way they'll give people a chance to get used to the new mechanics or of their sets and of any changes they may have had to classes or anything like that. Which, I mean, this time, honestly, like I said, it was pretty light on the class changes from what I could see. And so people get used to it, and then, boom, new season. So we're going to get the patch, we're going to get all the beautiful stuff that comes with the patch, and then the new legendaries will come out a few weeks later. Probably, you know, if there's going to be a complication, if they couldn't do both at the same time, then I think this is the best way to do it, rather than the other way around. And you might be thinking, well, they probably should have seen this coming. Well, that's the thing, is they are seeing it coming, and they're taking steps to prevent it from being an issue. There are just some things that happen when it comes to coding, that when you want to implement multiple fixes at one time, sometimes multiple fixes at one time is a bad idea. Sometimes it will cause problems. So in the interest of keeping things from breaking, you release one thing at a time. It's kind of like how if you ever get Microsoft updates, you might notice sometimes you have to update something, and then after you've downloaded a whole crap ton of updates, all of a sudden you have more updates to download. Usually because installing them all at once is a bad idea.
I'm just a scout. I was supposed to survey the battlefield from this tower along with my lieutenant, but we were attacked. I still have the spyglass here. Please, take it to my lieutenant. I don't know how long he'll be able to hold out up there.
I remember this quest. I think I talked about this a long time ago, back when the game came out. Yeah, this is kind of a depressing quest. It's like, here's the spyglass, give it to your lieutenant. Or give it to his lieutenant. Okay. Well, that's not difficult. We're going to go ahead and do that. So for anyone that may have missed that part in the last videos, or may not even realize exactly how this goes, because some people might just, you know, go by and skip it, or skip the ending, because it's really easy to do, right? Because you go up, you're done, you get your reward. There's more that happens, though. So let's just kind of speed this along by popping the Voodoo. Now, as expected, I've only had one dog appear. As for if its strength increases over time, I haven't been able to determine that yet. I think I'm going to have to do some testing on a lower level area with maybe some zombies. And try and kill enemies one at a time to see if the dog's power increases. Might not be a bad idea.
My bags are full.
Oh, well, okay. Let's talk to this guy.
What happened to the scout? Is he still alive?
He stands with one foot in the unformed land. You must go on alone.
I see. Thank you for the news. I will tell his family.
Yeah, he's not telling anyone, because after you deliver the spyglass...
Look out!
That happens. Yeah. So you come up, you deliver the spyglasses so that they can look around, and yeah. So not only is the scout dead, so is the lieutenant. Yeah. That's grim. That's dark. That's terrible. And I've got a full inventory, so I'm going to go sort this out.
I need to go back.
Well, I didn't find any upgrades from what I could tell, but for the sake of completeness, thought I'd go ahead and report that I did find the Exalted Grand Sovereign Helm. How to forge a rare helm with 6 properties. I remember these being kind of items in the final tier of Diablo 3. Like, when you hit 60, these were kind of the top tier items that you would try and forge in order to equip yourself. And, you know, you had to find all the patterns. Now they just give them to you. Like, when you hit Reaper territory, you get all the you get like everything as long as you level them to a point. You know, you still have to find the legendary stuff, which is still the better stuff. it's better than what it was for certain. Exalted Fine Sovereign Helm, so you kind of got different magical properties at that tier. I mean, this is just what it was back then. It's nice to know it's different now. That is not so painful. I mean, here you go, Glorious Hellscape at 4 random properties, and then it goes up wow, Glorious, Exalted, and then Exalted Fine Sovereign, so that's, these are both 4, that's a 5 random, 6 random, and then when you get up to 61 you get 4 to 6 randomly. So there's more RNG to it, but you're at least just given them, so you don't have to go out and find patterns in order to get equipped. You're mostly looking for legendaries.
If I don't make it through, you can have my rings. Both of them.
But I gave those to you.
No need to thank me.
Oh, you know, it was funny enough with the "I gave them to you," but the "no need to thank me" line put that one over the edge. Now, typically, Siegebreaker maintains the ability of having reflect damage, which is, my god, has reflect damage gone through over many changes over the years this game's been out. It looks like he still maintains it. Siegebreaker is one of the few enemies that maintains a percentage-based reflect damage. Every other creature has a set amount of damage on their reflex damage. So that makes Siegebreaker still kind of dangerous. I wonder if they added adds to some of these fights to make skills like Hex more useful. You know, since that's got Hex with an explosive quality on it. I wonder. I mean, you never really used to have adds. Ow. It's kind of painful. It's like slow damage over time. Ah, Siegebreaker!
Need more time.
You're Siegebreaking my balls here! Alright. I'm pretty close to getting my big bad Voodoo again, actually. That's pretty nice.
Not ready yet.
I like how frequently Hex comes up, though I kind of wish I had Hedge Magic in order to get some healing out. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Just potion up now. There we go. Oh dear.
Needs more time. I have been busy.
It's really interesting to see that some of the bosses have had so many changes happen to them. Some of them are a bit more interesting. But a lot of the changes appear to only be in the torment levels, at least from what I can tell. Or at least the more interesting mechanics.
Now I need a nap.
Wow, I got something out of that. I got Sage's Plight. Oh, interesting. It's a set that gives all stats. Does that have a... Yep, it does have a level 70 equivalent. So, does the same thing. Okay, yeah, so I do have it. I just didn't have the lower level version of it. So at this stage, it's 4 random magic properties. Let's see, armor. Comes with armor, reduced duration of crowd controlling effects, and then 35 to all stats. Wow, 35. It just seems so low now, right? And then the new one is all stats get a bonus at 2 pieces. They're both at 2 pieces, but this one has an additional 3 set, which whenever Death's Breath drops, a second one will also drop. I remember wanting this set because I needed a lot of Death's Breath, because I was trying to level up my artisans, but I could never find the items I needed to complete the set, and then by then I already had all the Death's Breath I ever needed. I'm so, you know, honestly, it's one of those things where they added individual components, like needing a demon skin or something like that, skeleton's bone or something like that. You know, those were neat ideas. They were kind of a scavenger hunt kind of thing, but at the same time it really prevented finding everything you needed sometimes. Really a shame, because it was like a neat idea, but you just had such a hard time just farming this one item sometimes. The RNG worked so against you. Only certain enemies would drop certain things, and it just became a heck of a bad time, really. So, wow. What's it got? It's got 3 different pieces in general. Gesture, Orbit, and Journey. Let's see if I can't find what the other ones are. They're not pants. I don't remember what they all are, unfortunately. Probably more so in the ones I've already closed. So, we've already looked at the Sage's Apogee. Okay, Sage's Purchase, or Sage's Gesture in this case, which comes with armor, crit chance, and properties, which if we look at the new one, they don't have any of those standard things on them anymore. Like, it's kind of neat that this has that you can always be sure that this is always going to have armor and increased crit chance. In fact, that's something I kind of miss. When the game was in beta, like the original game, not just Reaper of Souls, but Diablo 3, one of the things I kind of liked about the crafting was some of the different weapons had different properties. Like, if I remember right, I believe that maces had increased critical strike chance, swords I believe maybe had increased attack speed, something like that. They had a defining property, and it's something that I believe Path of Exile, at least back when I played it, was something that they took to heart as well. I believe they still do this, where certain weapon types will have this very specific property, like claw weapons will have armor penetration and things like that. So it's really, I kind of liked that idea when it came to crafting, although I can kind of see why when it came to just regular drops that might not have been a great idea. It's one of those things where I just wonder if there would have been a way to improve upon it rather than outright remove it, because now it's just all sorts of random property stuff. Let's see, where's the last Sage? Okay, Sage's Passage is the boots, which just has properties here, and this one has resist all and armor, which is actually a pretty good defensive set, actually. Alright, very good. So we're done with Siegebreaker. Didn't get anything overly useful at the moment, and it doesn't look like I got any real upgrades. Well, maybe. I can replace my gloves. I don't think I want to get rid of that shield though, so probably won't. Loss of 1% damage for 5.6 toughness. I will take this, actually. Not only that, but it has Firebomb damage increased by 11%, so it's actually a damage increase when you look at it. And that's including, that's the thing, is that's not even including the sockets, which if I added sockets would be even better. Like, I could remove maybe armor or something like that off of these, but I probably won't. We'll just hold on to that. So there we go. That was Siegebreaker Assault Beast, and we're moving on, moving quickly, and we are almost level 59. Alright, 59. What do we get? 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 Searing Locust for Locust Swarm. Spirit Barrage gets Manitou. Manitou? Manitou. So, 2 abilities. Not bad. Let's clear out what we're dealing with first, I guess. Probably should not have put that on cooldown since I'm going to be changing off abilities here. But that's okay, well, that's what the power of video editing is for, is it not? Alright, let's take a look. So, in the secondary slot, Locust Swarm is getting Searing Locust. So here we go. I'm like continuing this vein of being a fire doctor, which is kind of cool. I do like the idea, I think, that each class kind of has 2 or 3 elements that they own. You know, I think the idea that maybe having every element on every class, well, I mean, it would be kind of cool, it'd be nice if you could have every element for every class. I think the idea that each one is, it's a less homogenized when they have kind of a specialization focus. And I think there's enough elements that they could do 2 or 3 and still feel comfortable, and I kind of like that idea. So witch doctors are kind of masters now of fire and poison. And I think each class does kind of have a little bit of physical that they can do. I mean, and there are some that do have things like cold, so there are some a few of the one-offs, and you don't necessarily have to build off around it. I mean, Haunt is mostly cold, but still. But I do kind of like that they're a little more focused, because honestly, if you ever found some really good items for specific elements, sometimes you feel like absolutely compelled to build around that. But if you know your class only needs certain elements, then you know you could re-roll to that. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Locust Swarm, Searing Locust, engulf the enemy with a burning locust. They deal 1,480 weapon damage as fire over 8. So it's looking like it's just a damage increase. Yeah. But that's not bad. So 1,480 over 8 instead of 1,040 over 8. So I guess at this point what I'll want to do is just kind of calculate it out. So the original is, let's take a look, 1048. So yeah, 1040 over 8, which is 130 weapon damage. So 130 per second. So 1,480 over 8. And that's 185 weapon damage a second. So we're getting close to 200 weapon damage a second, which isn't bad. So we'll go ahead and put that on there. I do kind of like that. Alright, so under the decay section, we're getting Spirit Barrage, and this is Manitou. Summon a specter that hovers over you and unleashes spirit bolts at nearby enemies for 2,900 weapon damage as cold. Over 20 seconds. So that's, you know, it looks like a lot of damage, but it's over a long duration. So 2,900 over 20. So you're getting about 145 weapon damage a second, which isn't bad considering it's kind of incidental damage. So it's happening over time. It's happening a lot just as you play. You know, you really don't have to worry about it. You don't have to cast it yourself. You just put it down. It lasts for 20 seconds. So this is one of those spirit barrages that's kind of a fire and forget kind of thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm not entirely sure how I want to do this. I kind of like the idea of having the zombie dog without actually having the zombie dogs on my bar. Because that's pretty nice. It allows me to continually use the ring as well. So that's been kind of helpful. I could get rid of Hex. That kind of limits my defensive options, but yeah, well, let's try it. I think let's go ahead and put it on here. Let's go here to Hex, and we will put on Spirit Barrage with Manitou. There we go. And then what I like to do is I like to have this over here. So I suppose the question is, do I want Spirit Barrage to be on my secondary? Do I want to continue using Acid Cloud? At this point, it may not be a bad idea, because even though this is 100 mana, I only have to use it once every 20 seconds, so I cast it, there he is, there's Manitou. He lasts for 20 seconds, he fires out, he does cold damage. So the beautiful thing about the fact that he's cold damage is that it will do slowing. It will slow the enemy down, keep them from getting close. So that is somewhat defensive on it in its own right because of that. And then we've got the Fire Locust there. Alright, yeah, I think this will work. So we'll go ahead and put down the Manitou. And it's firing at things as I'm firing at things, and things are burning. I have to resist the urge to spam Spirit Barrage. You know, it's kind of like Corpse Spiders when you have the Spider Queen. The difference is, with Corpse Spiders, that's a signature spell. So for me, that seems like something I should be spamming, whereas Manitou is something that casts. It's something I can put on another button. It does plenty of damage in its own right. I suppose the Queen does too, but I still have a hard time kind of seeing that as just a set and forget spell sometimes. But this works. Actually, it doesn't look like I can cast it until it goes off. Like here, I'm hitting the... Okay, now I can. There we go. I've like hit it several times and my mana went down. It was looking like at first it wouldn't let me cast it again until it went off, which would have been kind of cool, but oh well.
I know I'm always jesting about it, but traveling with you like this has been good for me. I didn't have much to be proud of before I knew you.
That's another surprisingly serious and kind of touching moment from Lyndon. I mean, there's a reason why he's quickly become my favorite character. I mean, I kind of like Cormac, too. I've spent a lot of time with Cormac, and learning what he had to go through. But there's just something about Lyndon that's, it's a genuine, interesting tale, you know? He seems like... I mean, sure, it's probably it's a pretty stereotypical thing nowadays, or archetype of the thief with a heart of gold, which... But it's still, he's still got that roguish charm to me, you know, he's He's my Diablo 3 Han Solo, I suppose. I could tell him I love him, and he'll say, I know.
Rumors swirl that the Crusaders have returned, and that they mean to go to the west. But who are these tall, blonde warriors? They look nothing like the Crusaders who set out from Travincal 200 years ago. And those who inhabit the ruins of that ancient city suspect trickery.
These poor things.
There's nothing trickery about bleaching your hair. That's what it is. That's all it is. They're making a fashion statement. They came back and say, we are rebelling against our parents and teachers. That's what they are. Crusaders are just a bunch of brats trying to get attention. That's what it is. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I feast on
Don't mind me. I'm old and I'm set in my ways. That's okay. We're gonna get out a little bit of frustration on a spider.
Myself. I am Cydaea, maiden of Lust, consort of Asmodee.
I think we've met before.
Well, I don't want to know about that. I was about to say, I don't want to know how she consorts with Asmodee. I don't want to know how that works. I don't want to know about the mechanics or none of that. No. Oh. Okay, so got a couple things. Got a plan for an Exalted Grand Runic Quiver for level 10, but I also found myself Legendary Chest Armor. Let's see what we get. Something good, maybe? Something good, maybe? Chainmail. After earning a survival bonus, you quickly heal to full life. Not bad. I haven't really gotten any of those lately, but that's not bad at all. It is a increase in damage and toughness, a slight reduction in healing, but that's just due to life after kill, which isn't really a bad trade-off at all. And this is without sockets being included. So the sockets will actually help with the damage a little bit further as well. So we'll just go ahead and put the chainmail on. Take a look at it. That doesn't look very protective, really, but, you know, hey, he's a witch doctor. Can't get in the way of his ritualistic casting, can you? Well, we've done it. Level 60. We now get Firebomb with Ghost Bomb. Fetish Army Rune unlocked Headhunters. Wall of Zombies offensive line. That's offensive to me! Alright, so 3 different skills. So we've unlocked our level 60. Wow. Firebomb with Ghost Bomb, Wall of Zombies, and Fetish Army. Alright, so, new primary, Firebomb gets the Ghost Bomb. So in addition to the base explosion, the skull creates a larger blast that deals an additional 30% weapon damage as fire to all other enemies within 28 yards. So it turns it into a pretty nice AoE, actually. 30% weapon damage as fire to all other enemies. So there you go, you got the primary explosion. All enemies within 8 yards at 155, and then within 28 yards, and that's a pretty big boost there to the radius. Kind of take a look at that. Wow, look at that. So you got the initial explosion, and then it just radiates out really far. That's pretty cool looking too. I've actually not had this skill yet, not used it. I mean, obviously, my witch doctor here is pretty much the farthest one I've ever had, so... And there you go, that's pretty nice looking. Okay, so what else do we get? We've got Decay, Wall of Zombies, and the offensive line. This one knocks all enemies behind the wall. And that's not very descript. Well, we'll have to give that a try. So we get the Wall of Zombies, 28 yards wide. Attacks enemies for 200 weapon damage. So if it knocks all enemies behind the wall, I wonder if that's when they attack it or when it gets cast, if it will pull them. Like some of the... enemy affixes we've seen in the past. We'll have to see, so we'll give that one a shot. And then lastly, we've got Fetish Army Headhunters. Summon an additional 2 hunter fetishes that shoot blow darts at enemies, dealing 130% of your weapon damage as poison. So we get a poison version of the Fetish Army, which is quite nice. So you get the 5 dagger-wielding ones that summon for 20 seconds, plus 2 additional blow darts with 130. So 180 plus the 2 130s. So there's quite a bit of damage going out there. Unfortunately, if I'm going to lose the Voodoo, then I will be losing my zombie dog. So what we'll probably do is take out the Gargantuan. and put the zombie dogs back in, because I haven't found a better ring yet, and I still want to keep using these dogs. I want to have at least something out there. So we'll go ahead and put summon zombie dogs, and I'm thinking fire for doing AoE seems like the best. Continuing with the theme, and we still have quite a bit of fire. We have some poison too. And we'll do the burning dog. There we go. Put him up there. Alright, looking good. AoE there. A little bit of defensive with the wall. I am thinking what I want to do is to get a different secondary, because Locust Swarm is very expensive. Maybe go into my decay abilities. Or just get Grasp, actually. That wouldn't be too bad. Grasp with Rain of Corpses has been a really nice spell to have. Otherwise I could go with Acid Cloud again. A very difficult decision, especially... Oh, may hold on to Manitou. Get some more AoE going there. Let's see. I think what I'll do... I'm not going to do Grasp because I've already got Wall of Zombies. So we'll go ahead and go back to Acid Cloud, and we'll see how it works out. So let's go... I mean, if we stick with the theme, let's do a little bit more poison. We'll do Loblum. There we go. So we've got a mix of fire and poison going on here. Alright, I'm ready to test this wall. Let's see how this works. So if I do this, go here, put the wall down. Okay, I could have... Yeah, I think I saw there for a moment, like, everything jumped backwards. Let's go ahead and summon the poisoned army. Oh yeah, look at them doing work. I really like this Firebomb. I think it looks really nice. Massive explosion. I mean, it's not a lot of damage that goes out. It's only 30% weapon damage as fire, but you gotta think of just how large the radius is that it's doing that extra damage to. So like the initial impact zone is still really high, and then you're getting a lot of extra damage over a large area. So if you've got anything that procs on hit, could be useful. Let's put down the wall. Still trying to figure out exactly how the wall works. Let's find more enemies, I guess, first and foremost. This didn't really work against these guys. So the idea is, rather than use it to block, I'm going to put the wall a little bit behind them. And yeah, there it goes. It knocks everything back behind the wall. So this is pretty cool. I can use the wall now not just as a defensive measure, but if I miss the wall, I can put it a bit further back, and there, boom, all of a sudden everything that was in front of me now gets knocked back because of the wall's pull-in ability. That's pretty cool. I like that. I didn't know it could do that. I mean...
Needs more time.
I like the idea that you had this ability to block enemies with it, and now I know that I can use it to push them further back. Because that's always been the one major issue with the wall, really, that I've seen, is if you fail to place it correctly, then the enemies will already be past it, or if they're moving quickly, the enemies can still get around your wall. One other thing I really do like about Ghost Bomb so far too is that it is very useful for breaking all kinds of crap. So if there's anything in the area that I want to destroy, just throw that down and everything gets absolutely wrecked. Cool. It feels good to finally be level 60 mon. Finally, with this character. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do a pretty big... I'm going to end with a bang on the crafting corner, I think, because I'm looking at my time. I think I've extended a little long, but that's okay. There's a lot of edits going to happen. And then the next video will probably be the end of Act 3 and Act 4. We'll just combine both of those acts. Act 4 is pretty short. As long as I just run through everything, I have no reason to fully explore it because honestly there's not a lot in Act 4. There's hardly any side areas. nothing really interesting to look at there, which is really a shame. There could have been a lot of potential there. Oh gods. Did I hit? Was that two? Was that, wait a minute, was that just 2 portals for 1 goblin? What happened there? Oh, I tried to block him and I was off. Alright, he's dying. He's not getting anywhere. I'm so glad the patch is coming out. I'm looking forward to...
Demons, fire, more demons. I really thought the Lord of Sin would be more creative than this.
You know, I would have thought so too, Lyndon. Thank you. Oh, man. But, as I was saying, what I'm looking forward to is the patch coming out. I mean, it's coming out soon. 212 is going to be great. New treasure goblins. Looking forward to that. So maybe I'll be able to catch some of them for you guys.
You want to make me bleed? And I thought we were friends. You are no hero. Shh. I eat you now. You will not make me bow to the likes of you.
Well, there's Cydaea down. And I leveled. I wasn't actually anticipating leveling before going back and doing the crafting real fast, but apparently it happened. Maybe that's a good thing, actually. Let's get rid of the heart and let's go back, because quite honestly, crafting at level 60. Well, it's kind of a pain, but if I'm going to go on the self-found route, then I can't craft anything at 61 anyway, so we're not missing out on too much, you know? I've got to find the materials for 61 items in order to make 61 items, since that's what this whole thing started as.
You know, I'm a little disappointed that Azmodan hasn't tried to recruit me. My credentials are exceptional. There's no turning back now. Let's kill that.
I love him. Alright, so I am looking forward to feedback for like any potential future if I go through and do this with other characters, which I already started a Crusader, which I could pick back up. As far as that goes when it comes to the self-found materials or anything like that, because that was honestly a big thing back before Reaper of Souls came out, was can you really play the game doing nothing but self-found? You know, can you get through to Inferno doing only but self-found? And so that was kind of a personal challenge to me of, you know, well, can I actually do that? Can I make that happen with this character? Alright, let's go ahead and give the Scoundrel this 273. Oh wow, yeah, it's equal to what he's got as far as dex, but it's got a lot more other stuff on it, resistance and all that, to keep him alive. Alright, so I found the quiver, we talked about that. I can only use the blacksmith. And looks like a Exalted Fine Doomcaster, crossbow with 5 properties. Alright, so did we get any other upgrades? Well, we got those gloves we found before. We're going to go ahead and use those. Vitality and Life Ring, so we're not going to Yeah, we're not going to use that. No. Oh, hey, a belt with some nice increases and Plague of Toads damage, unfortunately, but oh well, we'll take it. Nothing on the offhands, get rid of that. Go ahead and put one of those in there. We only just hit 61, so nothing that dropped was of 61. I imagine that when I killed her, everything that dropped was flagged for 60 because that's when the kill occurred. Wow, that's got 8 toughness, 8% increased toughness. Minor damage increase as well. It wants to give me Plague of Toads though, doesn't it? That's the second item with Plague of Toads. I really need to get rid of that helmet too. Alright, well that's that. So let's go and look at the crafting, right? Because now it's going to tell me I can make this 61 gear. Granted, I have materials in my stash, but I don't have anything that's self-found, so I won't be making it. Unfortunately, highest usable is going to be useless to me at this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to have materials. I think that will, well no, that's going to still give me 61 stuff. Nope, let's just do can equip and we'll go down the levels. So at 60, we get some interesting choices. Let's make some stuff, shall we? Because we can make our journey towards Diablo a little bit quicker, and then hopefully find some 61 crafting materials. So at level 60, let's see. We've got the Exalted Axe. It's got 4 properties. I don't want a bow. What do I have for knives? Do I have a 60 knife? I don't, unfortunately. Let's see. There's crossbows. There is a dagger. Well, no, I only have 58, so I don't have that. I do have a 60 hammer with the 5 properties. I believe that was one of the ones we just found. So that's 273, right? So 273 hammer or 238 axe. The axe is 1.3 attack speed. The hammer is, or mace, it's 1.2. Either one will work. So 273. So I guess we'll do the hammer. Do I have a mojo? I do have a 60 mojo. There are staves. Exalted Fine Mythical. 5 random properties. Exalted Mythical with 4 properties. I believe these are the items that you needed the Demonic Essence for a while. That's how they changed that around. 210 sword. I think I'm gonna avoid two-handed actually. So let's go with the mace. Oh wow, look at that. See, 45% increase in damage from this 58 one I just found. Because it just got nice damage and intelligence on it. So we're already fine. We're already getting a massive increase to the items. Now what I'll need to do is see what my critical hit chance goes to, because then I can start putting emeralds in my gear, because around level 60 is really when all this started to take place. All this started to just really get formed. That whole idea of getting the crit up there. I've got that one ready. Probably will do it. Alright, so once again, here we can't do anything with the 61, so we'll just say can equip. Let's look at the belts. We've got a 60 Demon's Lock. What is this? Ranged and melee attackers take fire damage per hit. Chance to fear. Damage to demons increase. So there's a lot of stuff at 60 that I've picked up over across the last few years. I mean, look at this. This is the interesting thing. 60 with 40. Both of these have 4 random properties, difference being in the armor. So this one's at 215 to 239, this is 240 to 264. Seems like such a stupid, trivial thing too, you know, just a slight change in armor. And the weird thing is, the better one has less item requirements. See, look at that, 1 tier, 4 common debris. Some of the crafting decisions here were just so weird. And they seemed okay at the time, because everything else was just as weird.
Very pretty view here. The scenery is interesting.
I don't think we're going to be making any of the level 60 sets, though. I mean, I don't have any interesting sets at 60, I don't think, yet. Demon's Lock I'm not interested in. So let's just start making gear down the line, shall we? So rather than making this, which is fire resistant, no, we're not going to make that. Let's make this guy though. And not much better. I mean, probably won't be because I already have a 60 belt on. So we'll just make 2, see if there's anything better, but no, there isn't. So let's go ahead and go on to the boots. I don't care about Sage's Journey, so we won't make that. I can make, here's one with 5, here's one with 4. These both have 4. Like, again, that's just an odd decision. 250, 280, same number of random properties. I think they had something else going for them at one time. There might have been set stats on them at one point. It's hard for me to really remember that. And that didn't give me much. It's getting close though. I mean, 5% damage loss for 10% toughness increase, and toughness is kind of nice. I'll try one more time. See if we can get rid of these bojanglers. This is the closest one. That's not bad. It's got resist. I mean, and once again, there's another stat that we didn't really see much of until now is resist all, so we can actually start to see the toughness go up. I might go ahead and do it. I lose the spirit barrage damage. Maybe not. I'll keep it for the spirit barrage damage at the very least. Alright, so bracers. Doesn't look like I have... No, I do have 160. I have Demon's Revenge, which is another part of that demon set that I'm not making. So, let's see. This is 5 random properties with... Oh, right! These were the... Oh, no, okay. These were the ones with Demonic Essence, so I apologize. I misspoke earlier. The Razor Spikes, you could pick your primary stat prior to Smart Loot and Smart Loot crafting. And I'm still not sure how I feel about Smart Loot on crafting, to be honest with you. Just because Smart Loot on crafting means it's very difficult for me to make something, say, for Linden, because it's going to have intelligence most of the time. But here I could actually make something of Dex, Vital, Int, Strength. Well, we've got plenty of Demonic Essence, so I guess we might as well make a Razor Spike event, right? So 5 properties and plus a guaranteed intelligence. Look at that, 4% damage increase, 9 toughness, 58% healing because it's got plenty of life on hit, which is great. I mean, I'm going to have some nice sustainability now. Let me see. We've got Demon's Heart. Anything else? Nope, that's not 60. So here's another one, the Archon Armor. Can do the same thing. We'll make the one of Int. Ooh, we're getting close. We're getting close. It's a pretty good increase in damage, and Zombie Dog damage is on it as well. It's a 6% loss of toughness, but I think I might be able to deal with that. Let's see what else we get. Just in case, because I think I might use that. No. One more. Summon zombie dogs by 9. That's by 15. 6. I just gained a bunch of other toughness, I think, that I would be willing to do this, especially if I throw in a bunch of the int gems I have for that to get the damage up. I'm really thinking I'm going to keep that one. I want to keep trying though, just because I'm getting so close to anything else. 0.2 and 6.5, 0.9 and 6.1. That's got Grasp of the Dead on it. It's got more overall damage, even though I don't get the zombie dog damage on it. And it's less toughness loss. Alright, we'll just go ahead and we'll keep that. We'll go ahead and wear that. So, whoops, nope, didn't mean to do that. We'll get rid of the chainmail. Anything else? I mean, you can just see that the sheer amount of items you can craft at 60 is just mind-boggling, really. And the specific items that they put in the game, like you had to find patterns for each of these Archon gauntlets of Strength, Int, Vital, Dex. You had to find these. I mean, you didn't just get them from the crafter. You had to like go out, find the pattern, and then once you found the pattern, you had to find the Demonic Essence, which for a long time was a lot rarer than it is now. I mean, there were just so many odd things there that to keep you from getting the gear you needed, and you know, a lot of us, I mean myself included, kind of accepted that because it's Diablo, it's RNG, you know, some things are supposed to be hard to find, but, you know, after playing the game with the ease of use changes they've made, and seeing how much nicer it is to actually have a chance at finding the stuff you want to make the build you want, it's so much better. Not only that, but, you know, with the whole auction house thing, because these were meant to kind of circumvent the auction house in a way, because you couldn't trade these. And they were the best items in the game, technically. So it was one of those things where, you know, people were kind of upset with the auction house. They wanted to be able to go out and find their items, farm their items. So that's why this whole thing got introduced. And then, you know, that was just kind of the start of the systems that got put into place to get rid of the auction house. I'm kind of looking at this now too, just noticing that my resistances actually are not too bad. They're not great, but they're better than I thought they would be at this level, getting up to here. I must have found some nice res all items. I'm kind of thinking of where that might have come from. I haven't replaced a lot of things with resist all. Why do I have a bunch of resist all? I got 73 there. Where is this 455 coming from? Damage. Vital life per hit. Final. It might, you know, it might be coming from a lot of individual. Yeah, see, lightning resistances, because they did increase that a bit too. All right, no sense dwelling on it. Let's go ahead and get some gauntlets of Dex. Let's see if we can get rid of these, or Dex, Int. Get rid of the ones that I found. Yes, it looks like I can. Resource cost reduction, damage, toughness. I lose the life on hit though. Let's see if I can't prevent that loss, shall we? Attack speed. No. That's a tough one, because that's a lot of life on hit I'll be losing. What is my current life on hit? I suppose that's going to be the thing I need to look at too. 2,400. So my healing, as you can see, my healing practically doubled from the last time I looked. My damage has gone way up. My toughness is kind of creeping up there. Let's make another just in case. No. I'm not really liking these choices, so we're going to move on. Alright, was there any level 60 sets? Yeah, I don't have a lot of level 60 sets, as you can see. Exalted Grand Sovereign Helm, so I guess we'll be making that. That's 6 properties. Wow, 30 tiers. See this? 30 tiers to make one of these things. Oh my goodness. And it's still not... Why? Oh, because it didn't roll a primary stat. That's going to kill the rest of my tiers right there. And it didn't roll with a primary stat. You know what? You know what? Just because I don't want to keep wearing this helmet. Let's get rid of the fire blast damage because I really don't care. It only takes 1 of each. Really? This is ridiculous. There we go. Int. Thank you. There we go. Damage and toughness increase. Even if it's minor. We'll wear it. Get rid of that damn thing. I wanted to get rid of it. It had to go. It had to go away. Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright. 4 and 5. 5 property pants. Oh, those are fairly inexpensive, aren't they? Much better. I keep losing out on the primary stats, like int. So there we go. Still a toughness decrease on these, though. I've already got 60 pants, so I guess we're okay there. Those didn't roll very good. I've got a 59th. I already found one of those, so I'm not going to bother re-rolling that. Not worried about the shield. Shoulders, sure. Like I said, we got a pretty long crafting corner going on here, so for those of you who don't care for crafting corner, my apologies. Int. Vital dex strength. So once again, so we get int shoulders. There we go, 4.5 and 6.8, and Locust swarm damage on those as well. Getting pretty much all the Archon gear. So I'll be wearing a lot of the newer sets of armor for 60. Oh, there is a Voodoo mask, which has 4 to 6, but that's 61, that's right. So the last thing to make, I believe, was a Mojo at 60. So we'll go ahead and do that. And I've basically I don't have that many tiers left. I gotta be mindful of that. Really? Just not getting what I need, huh? This is the last item I can make. Damn. I thought I was going to replace almost every piece of gear at that point, but I guess not. Alright, well, actually I can get more tiers by salvaging everything. As a matter of fact, I'll use this wonderful new salvage all button. Let's just get rid of all those. And it's kind of broken though. It doesn't work on what appears to be account-bound items. I think there's some other items it doesn't work for. I've noticed that. Some of my friends kind of pointed that out to me. I don't know really what triggers it, what doesn't. We're going to try one more time to make a mojo, I think. Because I've got 21 more tiers now. And I'm just not having luck with the mojo. I really want to get a new mojo. Oh, wait. Once again. Hitting the wrong thing. Get some intelligence on one of these. I mean, that's really what I need, is some intelligence to proc. I could go re-roll, obviously. But there we go. 3.4. I lose some toughness. What do I lose toughness from? Vitality? Yeah, that's fine. It's got regenerate life, so it's got healing. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do is just test the Ruby versus Emerald thing for this level. Because, once again, I still don't have a lot of crit chance. It's at 6.8. So we're going to compare. Oops, I already threw away everything into here. Alright, that's fine. We will compare these two. I think that's the best thing to do. Let's see how it goes. So, alright, so I am certainly at 37,000 damage. So my damage, as you can see, went way up. My toughness only kind of went up a little bit from the when I was looking, but that's okay. Healing, though, and damage went up quite a bit. The toughness might have gone up more than I thought. I noticed it 500,000 earlier, so we'll see. 37.5 goes up to 38,670. And this is 38,770. So the Ruby is still, at this point, a little bit better. And I guess, just for the sake of self-found, put that in there. Alright, so there we go. Is there anything we can create? Because there were, yes, there were some level 60 amulets you could create. Strength, I don't have, oh I do, I have the intelligence one, but it requires a perfect square topaz. Yeah, these were the items we strived for back at 60. I don't think I'm going to worry about it though. I've taken up a lot of your time at this. I'm going to go through a couple of the conversations that are left over, because I do have a conversation with the Mystic, and it looks like I've got something with the Scoundrel, which is great. And so, again, the next time it's going to be the end of Act 3, and it's going to be Act 4. I'm going to try and go through both of those pretty quickly. Here is the gear as we have it now. As you can see, lots of replacements happened. Looking pretty good. Gelfling! Right. Okay, I'll do the conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching.
10 days ago, I had an extremely powerful vision of a dark future. Horrible, horrible things will happen to you before this is all over, but you will prevail.
Would you share your seeing with me?
I would never burden you with the knowledge of things you can't change. You need to be happy. Enjoy yourself while you can.
Does your brother know that you love his wife?
No, she didn't take the time to tell him before waltzing off to the altar. Now their children would starve if not for the gold I send their way.
But you are responsible for their father's imprisonment.
He will be free again in time. Paying off the Merchants Guild of Kingsport is no small task. And aren't you supposed to be on my side here?